Fellow South Africans, Africans in particular, Operation Dudula's actions has been declared unlawful by the courts of this country. So the Johannesburg High Court has just declared the actions by Operation Dudula as unlawful, and that the law enforcement needs to act whenever this anarchist group, this group of radicals, nincompoops who goes around harassing Africans who are in the country, stopping them from accessing the health care, stopping them from accessing schools and whatnot, and that is against humanity. All right. So the court of this country has pronounced itself to say that is criminality. So you, as an African brother, African sister, if you get stopped or asked questions by this group of charlatans, you don't have to answer. And we've been saying this all along to say, you don't have to. Really, an Operation Dudula minion asking you about your papers. That where's your papers? Where's your papers? These are not law enforcement. This is a group of unemployed rascals in the township who survived through extortions. So don't give them time, right? So it's about time this Operation Dudula minions are really taken to task. So we appreciate and welcome the court ruling to say really we need to restore the dignity of black people, irrespective of where they come from. So we welcome the ruling indeed, and our African brothers and sisters, you don't have to answer to these criminals, so to speak. In relation to those who are trading in Johannesburg, CBD and everywhere else, I know that there is a cleaning whatever going on in preparation for G20. The courts has also declared that they've given Johannesburg, counsel to really speed up the process within which those who qualifies must be given the permit to operate, and those who are undocumented, for obvious reasons, you'll not get a chance to really operate on the streets. So the courts have ruled in favor of street workers who are actually selling in Small Street and everywhere else in Johannesburg. So Johannesburg council must actually ensure that, in line with their bylaws, get to make sure that those who qualifies must go back to the streets and occupy those streets of Johannesburg, so to speak.
Operation Dudula is not about illegal foreigners. It's simply about hate amongst African nations. If it was really about illegal immigrants, me and my partner wouldn't have experienced the violence that we unfortunately experienced. I have been a resident of this nation for longer than I can even remember. I think from my formative years to my adult life. And throughout these years, my mom and I have done nothing but to follow the rules and regulations of this country. Sunday, Dudula, this message is for you. Head of an illegal movement, Operation Dudula. My partner and I went to the clinic just to simply enjoy the free healthcare that we pay for every month as taxpayers. In violence, we were shown discrimination on all fronts. To give you some context, my partner and I are both women and we are in a relationship. When we went to the clinic, we arrived and at the entrance there was a lady standing there demanding IDs. My partner merely questioned her, to what grounds do you need to see my ID? Valid question, because people are here stealing information and your identity number is your privacy. And you have the right to contest whether you want to show it or you don't want to show it. This is when my partner asked this person if what they were doing was within legal right. She in fact answered, no, it's not within legal right, but we don't want foreigners in this country. So we proceeded to walk into the premises because, excuse me, we are taxpayers. We are merely benefiting from the tax that the government keeps taking. The receptionist, the person who was on the front desk, asked me for an ID, which they had never done before, but I did show my documents and I showed that I was a resident of this nation. And they proceeded to sit me down. I went to go do my BP and weight test. And as I was sitting there, I could feel that the anger of this woman was rising. This is when she proceeded to come back into the clinic and ask where is my ID? In front of people. In front of people. So my partner took her outside and showed her ID and said, I'm going to show you this ID merely for peace, because I do not understand what you're doing here. But if you want to see my ID, I'll show you my ID. She showed her ID, and it seemed like the situation had not escalated. It seemed like everything was handled. Everybody knew that everyone has documents. Everyone has within right to be in the clinic. So I went to the last part where I was supposed to see the doctor. So as the doctors were coming, these people came back in. She was busy calling reinforcements, calling other people to come and drag me out of the clinic. For peace, I did want to get out of there, but I did understand where my partner came from with wanting to fight the situation. So as they came back, we were on a live and she was taking video. We have some clips of how the whole thing happened, maybe not in full because it ended us being on the floor and being dragged out. You stopped them from seeing the doctor. As the doctor approached me to give me my file, because I have a file there at the clinic, I had opened the file before. So they proceeded to, they wanted to give me my file, and this lady proceeded to say, keep that file, she's not going inside. And these people complied. We're talking about a clinic where one time there was a pirate that got inside and they were able to call the police and extract them. I do not know if the clinic itself is just merely complying because these are people from their community, but I feel like everything was just handled with complete, utterly disrespect. I proceeded to tell the lady to not touch me, to not handle me. I shall walk out by myself. And I don't want drama. I don't want violence. I'll walk out by myself. They were pushing me off the ground. My partner was trying to fight as well. Like, no, why are you touching on her? She said she will walk. That's when everything escalated. They dragged my partner to the floor. They started to push her. They started to want to be. 5 men were around my girlfriend. And now she was forced to disclose why she had to visit the clinic, and she was denied the health care that she was born having the right to. They dragged us both outside. The woman proceeded to push me on the floor, and there's a moment that I hooked onto the pole because I wanted to wait for my partner to get out so we can live together, because I'm not obviously going to live without my girlfriend. And she proceeded to push my head down to the ground and drag me outside. So I started yelling at her, like, let me walk by myself. Stop pushing me. I'm not fighting you, bitch. And one Indian man, Indian colored mix, I don't know what that man is, but he proceeded to wanting to shoot us. He said he was going to shoot my girlfriend because she's with a foreigner. And he wanted to shoot me because I'm taking health care. But, sir, I'm probably paying more tax than you. They proceeded to shout things like, no foreigners in this place, go to Zimbabwe. And they started telling my girlfriend that she must go to Zimbabwe with me and marry me there. And now it turned from illegal immigrants to homophobic slurs. And when, you know, the crazy thing is that when they realized that my passport said resident of South Africa, suddenly their reaction changed. It shifted from being about illegally being here to our relationship. It started to focus on the fact that we are 2 women in a relationship, and they started to ask, who's the man? What? As they continued to yell these statements, one of the men point blank said, I'm going to get my gun and shoot you both if you don't get out of here. And at that time, we were outside. We had complied, but still, regardless of the fact that we were both documented human beings, I even am disgusted with the fact that I had to put my girlfriend's name and documents in the same breath. It makes me angry that just her being associated with me is going to get her in trouble. This is a citizen that did not get the health care that they are so desperately fighting for and cleaning up in these clinics. What's funny is they're going after people that work odd jobs. What the fuck? Number 2, they say these foreigners are stealing our jobs, but aren't they fighting to go work for white people that own land in this country? Oh, who said that? It's not about illegal immigrants. It's just a hate crime. And a hate crime was inflicted on me and my partner, who are legally within every right to take it above. Best
Operation Dudula was issued with an interdict. Operation Dudula. I told you that that movement of hate will be stopped one of these days. The interdict was issued by the court to stop them. You know what? One of the things that they stop them to do, they are not allowed to ask any other person for documentation. Only the police and immigration officers are allowed to do so. And the interdict clearly stated that no one is allowed to ask anything from no one. They always claim that no, we are lawful. No, now they have to comply with the interdict. It's a court interdict. They had like a plan to do operation in schools in January, December type of stuff. They are not allowed. If they ever do, they will get they will cry again. You remember that lady who was crying? They will cry again. So anybody who think Operation Dudula is a political movement, is a political party, let's see what are they going to campaign with. Because their mandate was Abahambe. Now the Abahambe thing is stopped by the interdict. Now let's see what are they going to campaign with. Let's see. I know in their life nowadays they had the great R syllabus. They'll be like, what's next to the ocean? What's the ocean? I hope they continue with that great R syllabus in their life in TikTok, because they have no absolute mandate other than hating on other African foreigners. They don't have any mandate. So let's see this political party, these people who promote hate speech. They are also stopped from promoting hate speech. So you know what? As South African, I am glad that they are stopped, and they need to be stopped. You can't use other people as a political way of getting to the parliament. I mean, people are not that stupid. I mean, look at the votes. They didn't even vote for you guys. 3%. Now, since you are not allowed to use Mabahambe, you're gonna get 0. I'm out.